Hello and welcome to my Antwerp Zoo recreation series. It's been a while since you last saw me in Antwerp Zoo. Last time I made a little Christmas market at the entrance square and I really love doing that using all the new Europack pieces, and as you can see right now on screen, I am very much continuing that trend of using all these new useful pieces such as the rustic wall and stuff like that. Before I do my usual bit about the history of the zoo, I want to thank everyone for joining in. We've actually surpassed 700 subscribers since my last Antwerp Zoo video, and that is absolutely awesome. When I started this project, I think it's almost or even more than a year ago now. I really didn't think it would get this popular. I think I even didn't have like 300 subs at the time or something. And my last two videos for Antwerp Zoo have both had more than a thousand views. And even though I don't do this for the views or the likes or the subscribers or anything like that, it does make me happy to see so many people enjoy this series, and it very much validates the amount of work I put into making it. That being said, let's get to the topic of today's episode. So this building here is attached to the swamp aviary and actually provides an entrance to the aviary for the zookeepers as well. You saw me make that little door there just a second ago. So that's where the zookeepers can actually enter the swamp aviary. The building itself also has an aviary which currently houses African grey parrot and Abyssinian ground hornbill, but it also functions as a stable for the mountain bongos on the other side. From what I could find, the building was designed in 1872 by Charles Servet, and I couldn't find that much information on this particular one, and even photographs of its current look are quite hard to find. One of the reasons for this is the fact that the side facing into the bongo habitat is covered in thick foliage like bamboo and stuff like that. From the few photos I do have from the 19th century and early 20th century, the original building seems to have been built in brick and natural stone. The back was also completely visible to visitors as the paddock had very little foliage at that time. Apparently the building also had a flat roof instead of the saddle-shaped roof it has today, so that seems to have been changed somewhere between 1936 and 1958. Throughout history, the paddock was home to a variety of hoofstock, including deer and I think even okapi at one point. Today it is home to mountain bongos. Sadly, from what I've read and heard on social media, the bongos at Antwerp Zoo have been struck by some tragedy throughout the last few years. For example, there was a TV program a couple of years ago called Leven de Zoo about the long history of the zoo and its current inhabitants. They briefly showed one of the bongos who was pregnant at the time, but she unfortunately died along with her stillborn calf. And as a side note, I have never seen the mountain bongos out in the paddock during my visits, and I had a hard time finding recent images or footage of the paddock and its inhabitants, so I actually have no clue how many bongos there are currently in Antwerp Zoo at the moment. So if any of you who do know this kind of information, I would love it if you shared it with me in the comments, because sometimes it's easy to find information about the more active members or the more active animals in the zoo. For example, the lions and their recent birth, or the Malayan tapir and their the Malayan tapir couple in their recent birth and stuff like that, or the new tree kangaroo that arrived. Stuff like that is quite easy to find on their social media. But then other stuff of animals who've been there a bit longer and are not really into a breeding program or anything like that, it's a bit harder to find information on them. Something as simple as their names even can be quite hard to figure out and stuff like that. But yeah, this building is coming along quite nicely. It took me longer than I thought it would. Just not in terms of how difficult it was, just finding motivation and stuff like that. Of course, with the holidays behind us and stuff like that, I didn't really have that much time either to spend much time on such a dedicated project such as Antwerp Zoo, or my recreation of it at least. And then there's a ton of other stuff that got in the way, or that I was more excited for. There was a brief period where we had our little collaboration zoo, Cambridge, with Nick and Leaf and Forge and San and everyone like that. That took away some of my attention. I really loved using the New Europe pack pieces in that as well, and the actual animals from the Europe pack, because of course Antwerp Zoo doesn't really have those animals, or at least not at the moment. And then there was also like the feature, like the restaurant that I could use in there, because, well, it's a lovely feature, but it's quite limiting creatively, because you have to have a lot of space for them. You have to have, what is it, 2 or 8 by 16 meters or something, just to put the restaurant itself, and then you still have to put all the tables in. There's not really a restaurant in my Antwerp Zoo that has that amount of space to make it functional, unfortunately. So I really wanted to try that out. I made a little cottage in the Cambridge Collab Zoo. It came out really good looking in my opinion. Also, I could use the stained glass and stuff like that, because it fitted in with the whole fairy tale theme we had there in our children's zoo. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I think Nick did a live stream. Was it a month ago now already, or I can't remember. It's not a month, probably like a week or two, where he showed off the zoo, the Collab Zoo. Now that, I must say, it has also fallen a bit out of our attention, and we are all now doing ZSU, which is like ZSU stands for Zoo Sims United. Which is basically a role-playing server for Planet Zoo, where you can trade with other people, where you can set up breeding programs, stuff like that. It's not my first roleplay, or a roleplay application of a game, I should say. I have done like Victoria 2, Stellaris roleplay games as well, but this is definitely different because people are not trying, there's like no winners or losers. People aren't trying to compete with each other. It's just people helping out each other, trying to get good zoos, good breeding programs set up and stuff like that. For example, Forge setting up a zebra breeding program right now to hopefully get more zebras in each and every of the zoos that are participating in the ZSU. So yeah, I can't wait to be active in that community and share some of my breeding programs with other people as well. But we are coming close to the end of the speed build here. I have talked about pretty much everything I wanted to say in the speed build. It was quite fast. I think I sped it up a bit too fast because there was quite a lot of footage and I didn't want to talk for like 20 minutes straight. That being said, I will still like show all the details in the live portion of the game, which is like in about 30 seconds or something. But yeah, just putting in the last pieces of foliage. Again, using I was using the new branches here that were added in the North American Animal Pack. And with all that being said, let's just go into the live game and have a look. And we are here in the live part of the video. Now, I'm here next to this building in first person mode, and as you can see over there is the swamp aviary, and over here we have our building with a little African aviary, I want to call it, with the African grey parrot and the Abyssinian ground hornbill, even though it's not on the ground, it's on a tree. But yeah, we have 2 of those in there. I don't actually know how many there are in Antwerp Zoo, but I just put 2 of those and one of those. Then as you continue this path, this is not entirely accurate actually. It's made some mistakes somewhere along the way, which meant that while this path joins up here, it should actually join up way more over here. So in practice that means that you can view this habitat. Let me unpause the game. Like view this habitat and this habitat at the same time, while you should not be able to. Over there is our bongo, our mountain bongo. I don't know how many there are in this paddock, so I just put the one in there. I think it's a male. He might be stuck because Planet Zoo got an update today, or depending on when you watch it, or when I upload this, might be earlier in the week. So Planet Zoo Plus got reset and everything, so he might not be able to get to the front part of this habitat, which is accurate, I would say, because I don't see the animals or the bongos in this part of the habitat that often. So yeah, but it's our little nice bongo habitat over here. As I said, a lot of foliage, a lot of bamboo, but even like normal trees, and then there's this dead tree over here. It's nothing too, like, it's nothing complicated or anything, but I do want to point out like other changes or things I've used from the Europe pack and stuff like that. So a really nice technique that I've been getting used to lately is using these rustic walls as a barrier. Of course Antwerp Zoo has these as well, but then on the inside of the habitat, as you can see, I use the concrete walls, and now that we have them as off or non-grid pieces, I can easily use them in this way. Oh, you can actually get over here. But yeah, so that way, well, for the bongo it's not that much of a an issue, but like other animals that are more used to climbing, like a badger or something, would be able to use, of course, these rocks to climb, or these cobblestones to climb a wall. So that's why the inside of the wall would be concrete. So that's something I really don't pay attention to that. They like to clip through the ground. But yeah, that's something that I'm really loving, or a new thing I can do now that I really like. So from above, if we have a quick look here, this is the overall shape of the building. I really like this because it's like not a straight building, it's really curved, and the roof reflects that. We have our aviary over here, and then we have nice little, like, I don't even know what to call this. We have this nice little thing on the roof, like roof decoration. A little behind the scenes, or yeah, backstage area. I still need to finish it up with some details. Like, I think there's a container here from Google Earth Images. I think there's there's at least something there. Okay, that person just walked through the wall. Of course, the interior is not done. Interiors are always low on my priority list, especially if there's like no reference images I can use for it. So yeah. But I really like this building and how it turned out, even though it's not entirely accurate in how this path now works and everything. Like, this should extend down more, this green patch here. But yeah, I'm really happy with how it turned out. Now, quickly, I do want to point out some other things. I have completely redone this aviary. Replaced the entire, like, this was glass before. I replaced this with mesh, and I really like it, even though there's, like, of course, these little ugly things that I can't really get rid of because the pieces are just way too large for it, for such a detailed thing. But yeah, from above or from far away you don't really see that. So that's been meshed over in completely. Now I have done the same to this aviary over here, which has the same issue, but it's not that bad. Like, this is now all mesh. Then of course these things are now the rustic walls as well. I really like it, even though my previous solution using the temple bricks was quite nice as well. I also did this for the rhino, like these walls here are also now the rustic walls. What else did I do? I think that's really about it. I added more foliage everywhere. Oh yeah, this wall is now also the rustic wall. They have like a difference in walls. I don't know really how to describe it, but that's been changed. Oh yeah, the big thing being I changed these, like the entrance. They have these towers here. Previously I was lazy and I just used the in-game copper roof. Like there's a 4x4 like tower roof, and I completely redid those towers to be more accurate, and I really like the end result. Same over here. These towers are now more accurate. And all the way over here we now have octagonal roofs on our latteria over here. I think that's pretty much about it in terms of things I revamped or gave an update and stuff like that. Other than that, one other thing I want to show you, and that is the awesome North American porcupine mod we have. I think it's Frazzle who made them. Yeah, really good looking. Unfortunately, they are based on the beaver, so they will not climb stuff, but maybe that's for the better, because I'm pretty sure they would be able to climb out of this habitat and escape. But anyways, this has been it for this video. I will leave you guys on this nice little view of our bongo, our single male bongo over here. If you like this project and you'd like to see more, please consider giving this video a like and subscribing if you haven't done so. It really tells me that you want to see more of this, and it really helps me keep track of certain statistics of, do you guys want to see more time lapses, do you want to see more live stuff and things like that, do you like my other videos. All of that really helps to figure out what type of content you guys like to see. But with that being said, I'll see you next time. Bye!